So guys, there are two basic systems present in our body. One is the endocrine system and another one is the nervous system, which are going to coordinate between the organs of your body. The nervous system basically deals with the brain and spinal cord, which are going to coordinate and are going to control the movement of your hands, of your legs, and the facial expressions, whatever you are going to provide. So today we'll be discussing about the nervous system, which can primarily be divided into two parts. One is the central nervous system and another one is the peripheral nervous system. We all know about these two words. So when we talk about the central nervous system, there are certain organs involved in this central nervous system. One is brain, definitely, and another one is the spinal cord. So there is a basic difference between spinal cord and vertebral column. Please look at these differences. That vertebral column is the bony structure, is the protective bone present around your spinal cord. So your vertebral column, you can call it as your backbone, and the neurons present inside your backbone, or the bunch of neurons, the nerves present inside your backbone, can be called as your spinal cord. And you all know about the brain as well. So what about the peripheral nervous system? Now the peripheral nervous systems, the nerves which are going to arise from your central nervous system and the nerves which are present in the peripheral part of your body, that means in your hand and in your leg or in your visceral organs. All these organs or all these parts of your body are going to get innervation from the neurons arising from central nervous system, but the neurons itself can be called as peripheral nervous system, or the neurons can be called as a part of peripheral nervous system. So when we talk about the peripheral nervous system, we can divide this system into two halves or two parts again. One is the somatic nervous system. Another one is the autonomic nervous system. So what are the meaning of these things? What are the meaning of these things? This somatic nervous system, the nervous system deals with the voluntary actions, the movement which you can control with your brain. That means the movement of your hand, movement of your facial muscles, movement of your legs, movement of your head, like this. So all these actions or all these movements are being controlled by your somatic nervous system. The innervations are getting in your head, or not exactly your head, in your hand, in your leg, in your visceral organs, whatever you are going to control with your own will. So these parts are going to be innervated by the nerves arising from somatic nervous system, and the nervous system which deals with the organs which do not have any, actually we do not have any will upon those organs or the movement of those organs. That means the visceral organs, or you can call it as your lung, you can say it that your heart, you can say it that your intestines are going innervated by the nervous system. This is called as autonomic nervous system. So autonomic nervous system will again be divided into two types. One is the sympathetic nervous system, one is sympathetic, and another one is parasympathetic. So when we talk about the sympathetic, it is also a part of sympathetic is a part of autonomic nervous system, and parasympathetic is also a part of autonomic nervous system. So how these two systems are again different with each other? So sympathetic nervous system are going to act according to the stress. Suppose you are in a stress and your body is going to release adrenaline, so that your heartbeat is going to be increased or your cardiac output will get increased. That means your heart is going to pump rapidly. So this action comes under sympathetic nervous system, and when your heartbeats are going to slow down, is going to get normal, the action will come under the parasympathetic activity or parasympathetic nervous system. So in case of sympathetic nervous system, there is a release of hormone, or that is the adrenaline. So these kind of neurons can be called as adrenergic neurons. Adrenergic neurons. And when the parasympathetic activity you are going to talk about, these secretes some neurotransmitters. So the neurotransmitters are like you can call it as acetylcholine. So acetylcholine releasing neurons can be called as adrenergic neurons. Basically, these are going to slow down the activity of your heart. And now, summing up all these, the nervous system has divided into two parts. One is CNS, another one is PNS. PNS has two different parts. One is somatic nervous system, which is under your control, that is the voluntary. Autonomic nervous system, it is not under your control, that is involuntary. Autonomic nervous system is again divided into two parts. One is sympathetic, another one is parasympathetic. Sympathetic means the neurons are going to release adrenaline, or the nervous system which is going to deal with the adrenaline, and the neurons can be called as adrenergic receptors or adrenergic neurons basically. And the parasympathetic activity of the autonomic nervous system is going to release acetylcholine, and the neurons can be called as adrenergic receptors. Oh, both are adrenergic. So this is cholinergic, not adrenergic. Cholinergic. Okay. Now, if we talk about type of PNS in another aspect, then you can divide the PNS into three types. The aspect is the function. The aspect is the function. One is sensory. Another one is motor, and the third one is mixed. So what about the sensory neuron? The peripheral nervous system has some sensory neurons which are going to collect the impulse from sensory organ to the central nervous system, whether it is spinal cord or your brain. The motor neurons, that means the part of peripheral nervous system which are going to send impulse from your central nervous system to the effector organ. So these are motor neurons. And when we talk about the mixed neurons, that means the neurons which are, or the nerves which are going to act as both, whether it is sensory or motor. So whenever you are going to talk about the cranial nerves or spinal nerves, which are the parts of the PNS, constitutes cranial nerves and spinal nerves. So this is all about the nervous system. Now we'll talk about the brain here in the next video.